All right. We're live. S25 Ultra stream. The first ever live stream edition of the SammyGuru podcast. So I guess we'll wait for everybody to get in here. We'll see how many people we end up getting. It is a Friday, so Friday
And
at
phone day.
4. Yeah, it's 4:15 in Arizona. It's 3:15 on the West Coast. So who knows how many people will actually get. Tori's running a few minutes late, so we'll wait for him to do the official SammyGuru podcast intro, I guess, and then we'll get it going. Oh, thanks, Larry. Larry's here as usual. Thank you, sir. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I guess before Tori gets here, I can run down kind of what I had planned on the show notes, and then lots of other stuff happened today while I was planning the show notes. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Qi 2 charging speeds. Colin did some testing on that last night.
I did bring
some testing on that too because I got a Qi 2 charger from Belkin, and I had a couple others at the office I tested today. But it looks pretty good for the Qi 2 speeds if you have the right charger and the right case. Anyway, you need the right charger and you need the right case. Rohan's here. What's up? How's it going?
I did bring some supplies if we want to do some live testing too. So I have my.
I think Tori just walked in the building. Tori is here. Tori is in the SammyGuru offices. Laverne, how are you? In the chat. Tori is here. Do you have your phone, Tori?
Well, I didn't get a chance to open it yet.
He hasn't opened it yet. Tori just got the phones right here. Look at this. A freshly sealed S25 Ultra.
Live unboxing.
Still on there.
Yes.
There you go. Tori's ready to do a live unboxing right here on the podcast.
People want it. They were asking for
there's mine right there. There's the titanium V8 green.
Yeah, that is nice.
So, we're going to talk a little bit about that. Talk about the charging speed. Talk a little bit about Google Meet. Lots of people having problems with Google Meet video not working on the S25 Ultra out of the box. I had the same issue, and I was able to troubleshoot a little bit, so we wrote an article about that. Blakar said he took it as an omen to order the Fold 7. Well, we'll make sure the link works for the Fold 7 then. We're going to have a much better process for the Fold 7 for the mystery boxes. I'll talk a little bit about that. I've been working hard on some behind-the-scenes stuff. Nobody's going to have to fill out any verification forms and send screenshots anymore. It's just gotten to the point where it's too hard for me and everybody else as well. We got all the shipping going on here in the office today. I posted some pictures of all the mystery boxes that are getting lined up, getting ready to go out. Actually, Nicole's mom, my mother-in-law, is in there working right now on packing and sorting out promo codes and stuff and gift cards to put in the boxes. So she's working on shipping while we're in here recording the podcast in the back office. So we're multitasking today. Anyway, I don't even know what episode it is. What episode is this of the SammyGuru podcast? We've been off for 3 weeks. So let's check Buzzsprout and see what episode it says this is, because I don't want to say the wrong episode number. I know our views have not been the best lately because we have not been podcasting nearly as much as we were, but we've still been getting people watching. This looks like it's episode number. Where is it? Episode number 26. All right, 26. And we will be back weekly going forward. I got really behind with the launch and going to CES and all that, but we'll be back weekly now on the SammyGuru podcast. So welcome, everybody. Episode number 26 of the SammyGuru podcast. My name is Jeff Springer. With me, as always, my co-host Tori over here. And now we've got Colin in the house joining the SammyGuru podcast team. Hopefully going forward, we can live stream it because I do like live streaming. And I feel like the podcast is a good format to do it once a week. Hopefully I can figure out, I assume, I didn't really even think about it. I assume once you put this on StreamYard, you can download the audio file as well to upload to the podcast or something, but I'm sure I can extract. I can extract.
If not, so you can download the live stream once it processes and just take the audio out of it.
Yeah, I can extract it in Premiere. So we got 25 people. That's pretty good for a Friday at this time. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's go ahead and get into some topics. Let's talk about the Qi 2 charging right out of the gate, because this is a pretty interesting story. So S25 Ultra does not have Qi 2 magnets inside of it, but Samsung has this lovely case right here that they'll sell you. And look at this. This is titanium green. It does not look green at all.
It looks white.
on the video. It looks like titanium white silver. Look at this. Like, this does not look green. It does in person, but like on the camera, I can tell that it looks silver. It doesn't look white. But anyway, with this case, you can get pretty much close to 20 watts wireless charging. Colin tested it yesterday.
Yep.
I tested it right now too. I've got a Belkin charger over here that's Qi 2 that they sent me, and also an Anker one. Pretty much 20 watts sustained wireless charging, which is faster than what we got on the S24 Ultra. It was only 15 watts maximum. So I don't know. You want to talk a little bit about it, Colin? You did some testing last night too. So
yeah, so I tried. I've got a couple different chargers. I got an Anker Qi 2 like stand, and I've got this power bank too that's got the Qi 2. They're both MagSafe. They're made for iPhone, but Qi 2 is Qi 2. And when I was charging my phone was at 67%, and I charged from 67 to 70. So I had about 30% left before it was fully charged. And it was about 45 to 50 minutes charge time on Qi 2. And then I had a regular just magnetic battery bank that's just regular, Qi wireless charging. And that was showing about an hour and 38 minutes. And if I put this on my phone now, you can see it'll show about 2 hours and 37 minutes. And then once the Qi 2 kicks in,
what charge are you at right now? What charge are you at?
53.
Yeah. But of course, the wireless charging
like
does, it ends up slower as you get closer to 100.
Yeah, as you get faster.
Because even with Qi 2, I put it on this charger earlier with the case, and I was at like 80%, and it was still going to be like 55 minutes or something to charge it all the way. So, it charges it from like 50 to 80 pretty fast though at 20 watts, but it's still going to be a little slow if you charge it, from say 80 to 100. It slows down quite a bit. What does that say? An hour and 8 minutes?
Hour and 8. Yeah, so it dropped down. It dropped down over an hour when the Qi 2 kicked in.
Okay,
you can see this power bank. It doesn't show the wattage on this power bank, but if it's just standard, it'll show about 5 hours remaining at 100%, and it drops down to about an hour. And that's about what I found with the iPhone too. When it's MagSafe charging, that's about what it gets with that too. So it seems about the same as when you use these accessories with an iPhone and the MagSafe charging. So.
And the good news is, I also tested it with third-party Qi 2 cases. And for people who have questions in the comment section, we'll get to the ones in the chat. We'll try to answer some throughout the show, but if there's stuff that's off topic, we'll answer it at the end, because Tori and I usually do a Q&A anyway, and there's always time for Q&A at the very end of the podcast. But I tested a mouse case. I always say mouse. I don't know why, but here it is right here, actually. This is the mouse Qi 2 case. Theirs is supposed to be Qi 2 compatible, and this works the same as the Samsung regular, first-party magnetic one. It doesn't give you any slower speed. So as long as you have a reputable brand, I tested a UAG one as well. As long as it's a reputable brand that says it's Qi 2 compatible, you should be able to get Qi 2 compatible. Well, I mean, technically Qi 2 is 25 watts, up to 25 watts. But I mean, from what me and Colin have tested,
both my chargers, both of these are rated at 15 watts. So my stand and this are both rated at 15.
I don't know of any Qi 2 chargers that are rated for 25 watts. I looked on Amazon last night. I don't really see hardly any of them. Have you seen one that's even rated?
15.
Yeah.
And because most of those
are
magnetic
rated at 15 watts. Thank you, Harlan. Harlan says loves the channel. I appreciate that.
Magnetic chargers are made for iPhones, because this is like the first time, other than like OnePlus had the magnet a couple weeks ago. This is the first like actual Android device that's not an iPhone that has magnetic charging. So
exactly.
Hopefully something, maybe they'll bump that up, because I think the iPhone, the MagSafe puck on the iPhone's 25 watts, but most stands are still 15 for whatever reason, even though old MagSafe was 7.5, I believe, or 7.5 or 10. And then they bumped it up in the last.
Yeah, EL French is asking about getting the S24 Ultra S Pen on the S25. It does not work. There's nothing you can do to make that work, because it's at the software. It's at the software level. Even if you extracted like the S Pen, settings app, if you use like package extractor, it's still not going to work, because it's at the One UI level. There is no air command. Or sorry, there's no air actions menu at all. So even if you extracted it, it's not going to work because there's no protocol for the Bluetooth to work on the S25. Plus, the S Pen can't be swapped because there's no charging on the S25 Ultra. When we heard the rumors about the S20, we're going to get to that too. That's a long. We'll talk about the S Pen situation. There's a lot that happened with the S Pen situation, but we can talk about that in a minute. But there's no charging tech. I thought that when we first saw the rumors, I thought maybe it charged on the back or something using reverse wireless charging. You know, that was the only way it was going to work. There was never a doubt that it wasn't going to work in the silo because there's no charging tech in the silo. If it was going to work, it would have to work on the back. Like they'd have to charge it using reverse wireless charging or something weird. Or, you know, like an Apple situation. Maybe you stick the S Pen in the USB-C port. And then, you know, you drop your phone, you snap your S Pen in half. Like an Apple Pencil situation. Something stupid like that. But, I mean, that was the only way it was ever going to work because we know there's no charging tech on the inside of the phone. So, Tori, why don't you take it out? Tori, let's take Tori's out of the box and take a look. Let's see if the color looks any different on camera right out of the box.
Get us a top-down
GA green.
Get us a top-down shot.
Live unboxing.
While Tori takes this out, I'm going to get my hoodie because I'm a little cold. Hold on a second.
No fancy box this year for Samsung exclusive colors.
See, it looks white.
You're damn right it looks white. They all look the same.
Yes. Yeah, mostly white.
In fact, you know it's a really good thing to have around? This cream colored case is great because it's like a, look at this, watch. If you put it in the case, see, like you can't tell it's green here, but if you put it in a case that's like white, it's easier to see that it's got some green tint to it. Like, look at that. You see how you can actually see, like if you turn it in a certain light, the cream colored case kind of highlights the fact that it's not white since that's cream. I can tell that it's green when I have it in this mouse case because it has like off-white color. Go ahead and show them the phone without the case again. Go ahead. That is titanium GA green. You wouldn't believe it if we told you, but it's titanium GA green. I have a blue one too. I've got two blue ones actually. I got 3 S25 Ultras on my desk. There's 2 blues.
They look the exact same.
This one just looks like slightly less blue and more silver, but these blue ones, they don't look, I mean, these are the same color. Yeah. But like, look, these are the same color, but if I told you these were the same color, you would believe me. You'd be like, oh, it's probably just the lighting, probably just the video. You would never
Are the edges different colors?
If I told you these are the exact same color, you'd be like, oh yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
In person, you can tell they're not, but on video, like it's impossible to tell they're not. Anyway, people probably wondering, why do I have so many? Well, I've got this one I bought from eBay for a lot of money because I needed one early. This one, Samsung sent me a review unit. Huge shout out to them. I appreciate it. They were a little late, but I always say better late than never. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then I've got my personal unit, which is a titanium GA green, just like Tori's. So I've got 3 total S25 Ultras here on the table. Larry's talking about jet black. Yes, I have a jet black one that's actually coming as well. I ordered that one as my testing device. It doesn't come until next week. I also have an S25 and S25 Plus that are coming next week too. I haven't gotten them yet though, sadly. So is that jet black right there?
Yeah.
There it is. Look at that, jet black. Jet black is here.
And I'm so glad I got jet black because I've seen comparisons like with the black and the titanium side, and I think it's just too much of a color difference.
I don't think that looked good at all. Even when I saw the pictures on launch day, I was like, I do not want the regular black one. In fact, in my house, I'll probably end up having like all the colors except that one because my wife has the pink gold. I mean, in the end, I'll probably end up having one of every color except the black with the silver. It doesn't look good to me. I don't want one. Let's see who else was in the chat that I missed. Jerome's here. What's up, Jerome? Cap78's here. Talk about the good lock with the nav star. It is coming back. Don't worry. Don't worry. I promise you. It's coming back. They're just delayed on the good lock development this year because they made a lot of big changes. Plus, One UI 7 is like a major overhaul. So it's coming. Don't worry about that. Carmelo, he got titanium black as well. Silver blue. Silver blue looks good, but it looks silver, as I showed you already. Andy Carter Mexican says, got the S25 Ultra and Tab S10 Ultra. That's a huge combo, big time combo. Here's my my Tab S10 Ultra right here. I got the Tab S10 Ultra right here on the desk here at SammyGuru, sitting right in front of me. I use it for like all my socials and stuff throughout the day. Home Up will be working too, L French, but that's also like getting the biggest overhaul of everything. They're changing like tons of stuff. You can now like change the elasticity of the animations and all that stuff. It's taking a long time. Who knows when that will come out? Probably sometime in February. Let's see. So what else? What else about Qi 2? So I mean, the good news about Qi 2 is yes, it's faster charging. Yes, you can use some MagSafe attachments. I don't know if I have. I mean, I've got a million things around here. I probably have one somewhere, but I don't know if I have a MagSafe attachment right next to me. But you can use the MagSafe stuff and works very well. But you don't have magnets in the phone, which is a bummer. I mean, unlike the iPhone, you can't just stick a wallet to the back of the phone. You got to put a case on it.
Yeah.
And here's actually what I remember. I found out. I remember this at CES because I got a press release from the Wireless Power Consortium. Those are the people who do the Qi wireless charging standards. And they sent me a press release talking about how they changed the standards so that now you didn't have to have magnets in the phone. And so that's why they did it, was so that Samsung could say that the S25 was Qi 2 certified. They probably changed it just so Samsung could put that on the S25 series, because Samsung has a lot of pull, obviously. But they did send me a press release when I was at CS, and I thought it was really weird. So, yeah, I thought it was very strange.
One thing though about these Samsung MagSafe cases and some of the other ones is they don't have, I'm trying to find my other case that does have it, but they don't have the little magnet down here. They just have the round one. So if you have like a heavy, well, I guess you can see it on here. If you have a heavy power bank like this, or like a wallet or something, it just rotates side to side because it doesn't have that piece down there to keep it still.
Yeah.
Like I have this case right here has that, so you can see it doesn't go side to side too much. But if you put it on here, this thing is heavy. It's just all over the place.
And also, I'm not a particularly big fan of this case, by the way, the Samsung official one. So if you're wondering if you should get it, I mean, it was only $20 with my pre-order credit or whatever, but it's a hard case, which means it's really difficult to take off if you like to switch cases. It's not as easy. I pinched my finger last night trying to take it off. It's not a simple like slip on, slip off deal. And it also gets really a lot of fingerprints. I mean, if you like the hard plastic, okay, but it gets fingerprints even worse than the S25 Ultra, itself without a case. So I do like this case though, the regular silicon. Samsung makes really good silicon case every year, and the Kind Suit case too is really nice. I don't know where that is. I have it somewhere around here.
I've got
The Kind Suit case is really nice though. There it is. Yeah, the Kind Suit case is really nice. I like it a lot.
oh, so that's the silicone case.
It's not leather. It's like some kind of imitation leather, or something.
I think it's vegan. It's vegan leather, I think.
Yeah, vegan. Oh, is it vegan leather? Oh, okay.
That's what I heard. It doesn't say anywhere.
Well,
but that's
whatever
what I heard.
it is, it's a hell of a lot better than whatever Apple did with that one they made for the iPhone last year. That case was terrible. I don't even know what that was.
Somebody
the
said
case that Apple made last year was awful, and they got rid of leather.
Somebody said this was Samsung's solution to fine woven, but it's not.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The fine woven case.
Different.
The fine woven case was disaster. They should have been embarrassed
and that
to put
only
that
lasted
out.
a year.
It got so nasty. When I got mine, I got one with my iPhone that year. I threw it in the trash because as soon as I opened it, I was like, I don't want to use this. It was terrible.
And they rip and just like disintegrate.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to sell this to anyone because it's awful. So I'm glad Samsung didn't make that because I would not want fine woven.
This speaking case is pretty nice because it's kind of frosted, so it doesn't there's no fingerprints.
And that one has MagSafe too. Yeah, that one probably gets less fingerprints. I mean, I highly recommend the mouse cases. They're really good. They're expensive though. I mean, there's a lot of cases out there that I recommend, but they're super expensive. Like UAG, this one, they're very expensive. They're not cheap cases, but they're really nice cases. Oh, there's my Kind Suit case too. I got a bunch of cases around here.
I wish they put. Why didn't they put magnets in these? Like that would have been.
I don't know. Why didn't they put magnets in the other case? Why doesn't the silicon case have it either? Doesn't make any sense. They're just like, oh, we only have time to put magnets in one of them, so we'll put it in the clear one because it can show the MagSafe logo.
Yeah, and the clear one. I keep losing these. Oh, it's on my phone. I'm an idiot.
Is the Pathfinder super hard to take off? So far, I've only used I used the Monarch and the one that has the kickstand from UAG, the Plasma XTE. I haven't used my Pathfinder yet. They did send me one. I have to take a look and see if I can
I
give
found
it a
I
try.
found that with the squared sides though, a lot of them are kind of they require a little bit more force because it doesn't pop over that rounded edge. You
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
gotta move it the whole way. But this case and this case are the same, by the way. This one's just a little bit thicker because it's got the magnet in it. So you can save $2 if you don't want the magnet.
Well, Tori, let's hear your impressions. You just got out of the box. What do you think about the build compared to S22 Ultra? Because Tori upgraded from S22 Ultra, so let's see what he thinks about the difference in the build quality.
Yeah, honestly, the feel, this feels a lot more solid than the S22. Like the S22 just feels super sleek. But with the roundedness here, I actually really do like the way it feels in my hand. It has a nice weight to it. I like the back setup. And I really like the feel and the texture around. And the screen just seems.
Do you like the flat screen? Because this, S22 Ultra had a curved screen.
I know. So I think I will miss the curved screen. Because does it also have like that edge at all? No.
It has that edge panel. Yeah, it has edge panels.
But it has a nice feel when you sight on the curve. So I think I will miss that. But from the front though, I will have to say it does look like an iPhone. From the front.
It looks like an iPhone a little bit. I mean, well, from the back, it doesn't look like an iPhone.
Yeah, no. From the back, it does not.
It doesn't look like an iPhone at all. From the back.
It does not have the stove situation.
But I mean, and plus, once you turn it on, Tori just unboxed his. So for people just coming in, he just took this out of the box. He just got his from the mail. This doesn't look like an iPhone when you turn it on because it doesn't have that nasty dynamic island situation. It has a beautiful screen that has just a little punch hole there, and it's got tiny bezels that are smaller than the iPhone. So, but yeah, I mean, from the front, if you don't turn it on, it looks more like an iPhone than the S23 or the S24 or the S22 for sure. But you like the overall design, Tori?
Yeah, overall, and then I like the volume rocker. I like the power button here. Yeah, no, and then I like the punch out. I mean, honestly, it's a really solid build, even with the S Pen, even though there's no Bluetooth.
Can you feel the lack of Bluetooth?
Yes.
Do you feel the Bluetooth?
I can actually.
Do you feel the Bluetooth leaving your body when you take out the pen?
I know. It's like
it's gone.
It's like and then it's like I will miss those commands, but I mean, honestly though, I love the shine. I love the sleekness. So far, I overall do like the design and I like the titanium feel.
I think Larry did a comparison. I think it's like 1 gram difference between the S Pen on the S24 and the S25 Ultra.
Lighter.
Yeah, this one is lighter than your S22. Yeah, it's lighter.
Yeah, no, definitely feels so much lighter. I saw someone else is also upgrading to the S25 as well.
Yeah, someone said right here they're upgrading. The Stacy says upgrading from S22 Ultra as well. Hers should be coming this evening. Yeah, lots of people coming today. Lots of people's phone came yesterday. Lots of them coming today. Mine came yesterday. The first one I ordered, I have a big order that I had to place late because Samsung held it. So I think it's coming on Monday or Tuesday. I have S25, S25 Plus, and 2 more Ultras. One for my test unit and one for my wife. People are like, why you buy all these phones? Well, I buy one for me personally, one to test, my wife a unit. I buy a giveaway unit because I'm giving one away, as we always do. So, I mean, I ended up buying tons. If you actually count the number of Ultras that I bought, like for people who are affiliated with SammyGuru, I bought like 10 S25 Ultras in the end. I bought one for Samit, our head writer. I bought Tori's. Colin helped me out, so I actually got his S25 Ultra upgrade. I bought like 10 of them. So, I love Samsung. So I'm just out here giving away S25 Ultras because I want to spread the good word about the S25 Ultra.
They aren't giving much in return, though.
That's the kind of fan that I am. I just give them away. Why not? People need S25 Ultras. We need to keep the stock prices up so I can keep having stuff to write about at SammyGuru. Anyway, it's a good time to talk about the S Pen, the Bluetooth saga. So last Saturday, I woke up on Saturday morning. I was minding my business, and on X, Workaholic David, who's a guy who also tweets a lot about Samsung stuff, he might have been in the chat during one of our lives for the event. He tweets, "Oh, look, there's this Samsung blog post on their Business Insights page that says there's a Bluetooth pen that actually supports air actions, and it says now sold separately." So I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. Maybe that's a typo." So I go and read it, and it's like it's not a sentence. It's like 2 paragraphs. It's an entire enumerated section. So it wasn't like, oh, this guy made a typo. He didn't just like say, oh yeah, I just copy and pasted it from somewhere else from last year, because it says now sold separately. It was never sold separately last year or the year before that. So
Forever.
in fact, the Bluetooth S Pen hasn't been sold separately since the S20 Ultra, right? Or S21 Ultra, because the S Pen
Was that even
Pro,
that wasn't Bluetooth?
well, it was the S Pen Pro. You could buy the S Pen Pro and
Yeah,
it would
yeah,
work, right?
that Pro,
and
yeah.
that had Bluetooth. So people are, some people are like, oh, well, maybe it's just a typo. Well, it's not a typo because the whole section, he didn't copy and paste it from somewhere. And so then someone else found an Amazon page in the UK that also says there's a Bluetooth S Pen that has air actions, and it says it in the description. And so I was like, well, maybe that's the case. So I reach out to Samsung via email, but it's Saturday. They're not going to get back to me. So I made a video and I posted an article on SammyGuru talking about the possibility of there being a Bluetooth S Pen. Now, I never told anyone to go buy the Bluetooth S Pen. We also talked about the fact that there was a chance that this was completely fake. And as soon as we kept getting more information, I updated the article and my video. My video, if you watch it all the way through, I can't help that people don't watch the entire videos on YouTube. I talk about for the last minute the fact that there's a lot of things that could potentially be wrong that would make this not, in fact, real. So lots of people apparently took exception. I'm not going to get into particular people with us posting the article and me posting the video. I have no problem with what I did because one, the source was an official Samsung page. The blog post was written by a journalist who Samsung contracted, but the journalist was not some random guy off the street. He was pretty well respected. He's written in quite a few places. Then obviously Samsung's not picking, random people off the side of the road to write their blog posts. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. So I, posted it. Don't feel bad about it, but we found out later, of course, as we kind of figured, because there's no charging tech inside the phone, the only other way it could have charged was on the back of the phone, right? Using reverse wireless charging or something weird, like I talked about earlier. Samsung confirmed like 2 or 3 days later that it wasn't real, it was a mistake. And then they took down the mention in the blog post and the Amazon listing. But they took like 4 days to do it. So they like really drew it out for a long period of time. Lots of people were excited about this and thought maybe it would be a possibility. I don't know how anyone missed this and let this blog post go up. The Amazon listing is one thing. I don't really blame Amazon because, they copy and paste stuff all the time. Maybe they just copy and pasted the old listing. But Samsung blog post, it had a whole section. It wasn't like one sentence or like one parenthetical phrase. The guy was talking about how great air actions are, and he was talking about how you could buy another pen to get air actions. So it obviously wasn't a typo or some just mistake, but someone didn't proofread it, and so that's what ended up happening. So there's no Bluetooth on the S25 Ultra S Pen. There's no way to get it. You can't get it by taking an S22, S23, S24 S Pen and inserting it. That doesn't work. Lots of people keep asking this question. Hey, Valiant Speaks Tech, what's up, man? Another guy who loves to do Samsung videos here on YouTube. What's up, man? He makes some great Samsung content too. Everybody in the chat, you like Samsung stuff, you should check out his channel. He makes some really detailed Samsung content. I literally enjoy his stuff a lot. So there's no way to get Bluetooth on the S Pen. You can't do any trickery. There's no software you can side load. There's no magic wand you can wave and magically get Bluetooth. However, if you're really passionate about the Bluetooth thing, being the Samsung fan that I am, and I'm always advocating for the people, as you guys know, I made this petition on change.org to ask Samsung to bring back the Bluetooth S Pen with the S26 Ultra. And so if you want to sign it, it almost has 5,000 signatures already. There's the petition in the chat, and you can sign it and see if they'll listen. I mean, about 30 different blogs picked this up after I posted about it and created it at SammyGuru. Now, let me say this. About 30 blogs picked it up, but guess what? Only like 5 of those blogs actually backlink to us at SammyGuru. So I appreciate the 5 of you who did backlink to us. The other 25 of you, come on, could do better here. They mentioned me, but they don't give me any backlink. Come on, let's be a little nicer here. So you could sign the petition there. Who knows if they're actually going to listen, but hey, if we get thousands and thousands of signatures, they might. Yeah. Valiant Speaks Tech says he's using all the apps on a daily basis. S25 Ultra, battery's fine, interface is smooth. Not going to jinx it. Yes, it's very smooth. we'll talk about that. One UI 7 is great on the phone. Tori just unboxed it, so he'll have to experience it later, but we can tell him what the great things that Tori has to look forward to. I figured out the button on the S Pen when screen registered the S Pen can open at least the S Pen menu. Yes, it does. Velian says you can still use Air Command, right? Air Command still works fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So the digitizer still recognizes the S Pen, and when you press the button, you're still going to be able to get your Air Command. So it's still going to open Air Command, no problem. You just don't get all the air actions, the gestures. You don't get remote shutter. And I think about 90% of people are pissed about the remote shutter. That's what I'm pissed about. That's why I started the petition, because a lot of times when I'm creating B-roll or if I'm taking, a thumbnail or something, I set up my phone on a tripod and I want to be able to back away from it and use the S Pen to trigger the shutter. But now I can't do that anymore. If you have a Galaxy Watch, you can use it for that. You can still use the Galaxy Watch. But I don't always wear a smartwatch. Tori has on the Galaxy Watch Ultra. I have on my regular dumb watch. My dumb watch does not allow me to do that. So if I'm not wearing my Galaxy Watch, I can't do it. The S Pen was nice because it's always there. Yeah, Valiant says after the digitizer picks it up, you have to be pretty close. You need to be about, I don't know, you need to be really close. It's like an inch or something from the screen.
Yeah.
It's not far away at all. You got to be pretty close to get the Air Command window up with the button. Otherwise, it's not going to work. That's the downside of that for sure.
And I also have a question now.
Sure.
Since I've just now opened this up.
Sure.
I've not been on this at all. For those who are getting theirs today or maybe even tomorrow, what would be at least like 3 things that I should probably do first?
Well, Tori, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked because I just made a video today that's 31 minutes long that tells you. I actually made a video the other day with all the first things to do, and then I also made another video today with settings you should change. Velian says he signed the petition. Let's go. All right. He's going to share it with his fans too. He has a lot of fans too in the community, so I know that that'll spread it some more. Hopefully some more blogs will pick it up. We've had tons of blogs pick it up. Pretty much, every single blog that's in the tech space has picked it up. And like I said, huge thanks to those of you who picked it up, who gave me a backlink. The people who did not give me a backlink and just linked to the petition, well, guess what? See, I'm smart. So the people weren't backlinking to my post. So guess what I did in the petition? If you look there, guess what's there now? A backlink to SammyGuru. Yeah. So that way, if people check out the petition, they'll know SammyGuru started the petition. I just want people to know, to get the word out. I started the petition. I just want a little credit. That's all I'm asking for. So that's there. I'd really like to see the Bluetooth come back. I mean, I started the petition for real, not just to get clicks for SammyGuru. I mean, it was a smart idea for that too. And I'm an honest businessman. I definitely had that in the back of my mind. It would interest people. But I really do like the remote shutter, right? I like the remote shutter. I use it all the time. I started the petition because I really want it back on the S26 Ultra. Now, if we're being 100% honest, right, they're not going to bring it back on the S26 Ultra because they already have it in development. This is really for like the S27 or the S28 Ultra because they can't really probably do a damn thing about the one for next year yet. I just put S26 Ultra in the title because I figured that would get a lot more interest than if I put S27 Ultra because that's way down the line. So if we get enough signatures, maybe for the S27 Ultra, we can maybe get some traction into getting the Bluetooth S Pen back. That's my real goal. I honestly realize that the S26 Ultra is probably, the ship has sailed on that because they've already got that mostly developed by this point. People don't realize like a smartphone life cycle, product cycle is like 3 years. So they're already almost done with the S26 Ultra development, right? They're just going to be polishing it up from here on out. Like they're usually done by the time they launch the previous one. So, that's probably the case. But as Tori was saying, and Colin put that there in the pinned it there, I made a video with first 10 things to do when you get the phone out of the box. It talks about all the setup, how to set up your phone. And then I made another video that's like 31 minutes long where I talk about all the settings that I change out of the box. So that covers things like, changing your display settings. One display setting you should absolutely change because Tori asked what 3 things should he do? You should change your display from FHD plus to QHD plus resolution because you do not get the ProScaler AI technology if you have it in FHD plus. It only works in QHD plus. So
do you have to enable the AI too, or is it automatically done?
I think it's automatic. You don't have to enable
Okay.
Galaxy Eye to get it. But if you keep it on the default resolution, because why did they leave that as the default resolution? I don't know. Because the brand new feature that they talked about for like 10 minutes at the keynote requires QHD plus. So why isn't it the default out of the box? I have no idea. Makes no sense. But if you don't change that, you're not going to get the better quality. And honestly, it is a pretty big difference. I was comparing it to my S24 Ultra. The display quality, like the image quality and the video quality on this with ProScaler is impressive. So you definitely want to enable that out of the box. I would say you want to go and set up your now bar settings and your now brief settings, because that's a pretty cool new feature. If you're a sports fan, I made a short on this yesterday. You want to make sure you go and set up your favorite team. So you go to your Google feed and then scroll over to where it says your sports teams and leagues. There's a thing that says sports teams and leagues right there. If you tap on that, you can choose your favorite sports teams. You guys can see all the teams I'm following right there. Choose your favorite teams, and then those will show up on the now bar, and you'll also get live activities. So you definitely want to set up all the stuff you want in now bar, because then you'll get that information as you go. Yes, Velian is absolutely right. The upscaler is from the TV. ProScaler comes from the TV. That was on Samsung's QLED TVs first. Came out, I think, maybe 2 years ago or something. It's been a while. And now they brought it to phones. But it does make a difference, in my opinion. I think the image quality looks quite a bit better. But it's just kind of weird that they didn't make QHD plus the default out of the box. And then the third thing that I recommend, Tori said 3 things. So the third thing I recommend is if you go into device care, there's an option that I always use. It's in a couple of the videos that I made. But if you go to device care in the settings, there's an option where you can automatically restart your phone. It's called auto optimization. It's right there. And it allows you to restart your phone at like a specified time each week. I usually do it like 3 a.m. in the morning, because obviously I'm not doing anything at 3 a.m. in the morning usually, unless I'm working, but it's okay if it restarts at 3 a.m. And then it automatically like refreshes your apps, gets rid of some of the junk in the background. And I think it's just a good idea for Android to restart your phone once a week, and it'll do it for you. You don't have to think about it.
Oh, that's cool.
Someone else is asking about Qi 2 again. Have we tried the Qi 2 charging? We covered this at the beginning, but I'll answer again. You get 20-watt charging if you have the magnetic case, which I have on here, and Colin had tested last night too, and you have a Qi 2 charger. Those two together.
It probably is closer to 15 than it shows.
Philadelphia. Wait, what?
Yeah, what? We gotta...
A plane crashed into the mall. What's going on?
What?
That's weird. How did people get their new S25 Ultra yet? Well, we got it because we pre-ordered the very first day, like at the first minute. But some people I know, if you have specific colors or storage, sometimes you might still be waiting. It's possible. But we did order right away. Tori and Colin ordered before me because I was trying to get our site to stop crashing on launch day, and then I ordered after that. But yeah, that's how we got them. So don't ask. They call so many shops. Oh yeah, Valiant said he got S25 Ultra. It took him forever to get it. Yeah, it's not easy to get it depending on the country you're in. I mean, luckily in the US, Samsung ships the pre-orders pretty early. So
that was pretty quick.
that makes it nice for us. But if you don't order right away, sometimes it means you don't get your device super quickly either. So
have you compared to OnePlus 13?
Let Colin speak on that. He has a OnePlus 13. I actually ordered a OnePlus 13 yesterday because I'm going to make a couple of videos and things for SammyGuru, but I don't have a OnePlus 13 yet. So let's let Colin talk about that.
Let me turn it on real quick and we'll try the charging speed. I haven't compared the two. I have put this on my wireless charger, the same two I used with the S25 Ultra with the magnetic case. And it says it's going to take like 5 hours to charge, so I don't think the Qi 2 is Qi 2ing.
On what?
I don't know. On the OnePlus.
Oh yeah. Because the OnePlus is supposed to have it as well, right?
It's supposed to, and they also have, if you use they have a magnetic charger too that does 50 watts.
Oh wow.
And they have a
They've always
stand that
been
does
ahead.
50 watts. Yeah,
They've
but
always
I
been ahead
couldn't
on the
hear.
charging. Samsung's got to step up their game on the wired charging. 45 watts is embarrassing. I mean, I'm the biggest Samsung fan in the world, obviously, but 45 watts is embarrassing, man. 65 watts is supposed to be coming next year on the S26 Ultra, but we got to get on. We got to get moving on the 45 watts. Like, I mean, I know it's not terrible, but it's some phones have 120 watt charging. I don't want 120 watt charging because I understand the downsides of 120 watt charging, but I at least want 65 watt charging. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, so here I got it. So remember before I said if it says like 5 hours, it's not fast charging.
Yeah,
So
that doesn't
5
look
hours and
good.
32 minutes left, and then well the time went away, but it said 1 hour and 11 minutes for the last 13%. Which if anybody knows OnePlus, they don't really slow down like everybody else does.
Yeah,
So 1 hour and 13 minutes is and I don't know if it's because this charger, obviously these aren't made for these phones, but
yeah,
it's still on the magnet, so I figured it should probably still work.
yeah.
But like I said, OnePlus does have their own. They have two chargers. They have a stand and they have a magnetic round one that'll go on the magnets, and it's 50 watts. So not too sure why that doesn't work, but I've tried a couple of them and they don't do anything special.
Valiant says, "Am I going to order a 16 gigabyte S25 Ultra from Korea?" I mean, come on, I've already spent like $10,000 on S25 Ultras. I don't know if I should buy another $2,000 one. I thought about it, but it probably cost me $2,000 to get, or maybe $1,800 to get one from Korea. I would love to have a 16 gigabyte one, but I don't know if I can justify it. I've already spent so much money on S25 devices, but I will have to think about it. I mean, it's appealing, but the thing is, they don't have any like other. It's just 16 gigs of RAM. There's nothing else that's special. Like if they had a special color that was also, 16 gigs of RAM, I would think about it because maybe I could make a video and get some views and make some money back. But I don't know. I don't think I can make that much money back from just having 16 gigs of RAM. I mean, I could do some benchmark tests, but I don't think it would get enough views to make it worth it. But we'll have to see. Is that an Anchor power brick, Colin? I think it is, right?
Yes, yeah. And
Yeah.
somebody else in the comments said that you need their charger.
Yeah.
For the wired charging, yes, you do have to use the SuperVOOC charger. I'm looking here, and they do have their own cases with the magnet, and they do have their own wireless chargers. So maybe I mean, it obviously has regular wireless charging. Maybe it's not Qi 2, and it is something proprietary, and that's why we're not seeing that. But it looks like it has some sort of Qi 2, because I don't think they developed their own standard from what I
But
see.
maybe it's not certified by the Wireless Power Consortium or something.
Yeah.
Like the Samsung one is. Even though they changed the entire standard for Samsung to be certified.
Okay, so
But
it does say that it does not have Qi 2.
what?
So
The
it's either
OnePlus?
the OnePlus 13. So it's either got regular wireless charging, which is what that was doing there, or it has OnePlus, I guess, copied it and it has AirVOOC, which uses the same kind of magnet array for the 50 watt charging. But they went above and beyond Qi 2 because Qi 2 doesn't go above 25 watts. So their 50 watt deal is not Qi 2.
Valiant said, yes, we need to save for folds already. Yeah, we do. I mean, I already spent way too much money on a fold this year. I've got the special edition. I keep this around because I love the hardware, but I keep not using the special edition because even though I love the hardware, it still has One UI 6.1.1, and like, I can't use that because now I have One UI 7. So it's just hard to use the old software. Let's talk about something else too, though, that is going on with the S25 Ultra. I just discovered this like 2 hours ago. So apparently, even though Samsung said that RCS was gone on the Galaxy, Samsung Messages was going to lose RCS. They're getting rid of it, et cetera, et cetera. I opened up my S25 Ultra, which has the Verizon SIM. This is an unlocked model, has the Verizon SIM in here. And then basically, I opened the Samsung Messages app. There's a new version on the Galaxy Store for Samsung for the S25 Ultra. You can't even find it on the older phones. I couldn't anyway. Samsung Messages wasn't even searchable. Now you can find Samsung Messages, and if you install it, you see, there it is on the Galaxy Store now. You see RCS support in the Samsung Messages app. I got a pop-up telling me about RCS through Google and ask you to set it up, which is incredibly weird because this phone has a Verizon SIM in it, and Verizon told us that RCS was dead in Samsung Messages as of January 1st, 2025. Samsung also made a comment to media at the Unpacked event that Samsung Messages would be sunset in favor of Google Messages going forward. They were going to start phasing it out. So I am super confused. I wrote up an article about this because I have no idea what's going on. All the units that I have RCS. I have the T-Mobile unit Samsung sent me. I have the Boost Mobile unit that I bought from eBay. And then I have this unlocked unit with a Verizon SIM. They all have RCS. I have no idea what's happening. So I reached out to Samsung for comment saying, is this a mistake? Are you guys bringing RCS back? Is Samsung Messages in fact not dead? Because why did they release a brand new version specific to the S25 series apparently on January 25th? I have no idea. It makes no sense. So I'm really confused. I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that for sure. This is going to mean RCS is back for sure. That's why in our title I just put the S25 Ultra shows signs that RCS could come back because I don't know if it's really coming back or not.
So I still can't get mine working, but there is an interesting note in the release notes for that. Again, not the release notes, but the description. It says does not support RCS feature when using satellite mode.
Well, that makes sense, right?
Well, that's got to be part of that update though, because satellite mode is new.
Yeah.
So that's got to be something
that's also. I know you were talking about that earlier, and actually Valiant's talking about Starlink as well. So we can talk a little bit about satellite messaging. I don't know if you heard, Tori, but certain S25 units will have satellite messaging. Either if you're on Verizon, it's emergency satellite messaging only. And I did get the pop-up for that. That's only to message emergency services. Whoa, hey, what's going on there? What happened? Oh, it's okay. I'll get those in a second. I got way too much stuff on my desk. I knocked some cases off. So emergency only on Verizon. But if you want to get emergency satellite messaging on Verizon, you have to use the Google Messages app. You can't use Samsung Messages. So that's what that is referencing, because it also told me that when I enabled emergency satellite messages, it says you cannot use Samsung Messages. You have to use Verizon with Google Messages. That's on Verizon only. However, Verizon is not using Starlink. They're not. They're using a different provider, which is what's it? Well, I told you earlier, Colin. I forgot the name of it.
Something like that.
Salo, and they are emergency only. Whereas Starlink on T-Mobile, which Valiant's talking about Starlink, Starlink on T-Mobile will let you use satellite to do messaging anytime, not just emergency. However, right now it's a beta. You can register for the beta, but after the beta period, T-Mobile and Starlink are going to charge for that service. It's not a free service, and they don't know how much it's going to cost. So, of course, Elon Musk has got to make his money. He's all about that money. He also lost a lot of money by buying X and turning it into a very unprofitable business. So he needs to make a little money back. So, I mean, he obviously has a lot of other profitable businesses, but anyway, they're going to charge for that eventually.
Now, what's with the S25 Ultra? It's got the Snapdragon satellite, I think is what it's called.
Qualcomm satellite, yeah, it's got Qualcomm a satellite in the chip,
built in.
We wrote a piece about that too, yeah.
So now, could that possibly also enable satellite stuff outside of carriers, like other subscriptions?
I think you still need
like
a carrier partner, though.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think you still need a carrier partner. Yeah. What do you think, Tori? You want to text on the satellite?
Yeah, I mean, even I think I texted you, even with just these subscription things, if I do want to be able to access those things and going on a subscription base.
Yeah.
I come on, man.
You don't want to pay $10 a month for satellite?
No, if I gotta pay extra for Netflix now in a few months, and
everybody's raising the prices.
too much.
The price is going up.
The price is going. There needs to be a limit.
Now-
So no, if I get my phone, I want to be able to enjoy the things that are on the phone without having to pay more. If it's supposed to be
No,
that.
sure.
you don't need a carrier for iPhone satellite to work.
Really?
Well, that's because I think
have-
Apple got basically their own satellites. I think they like licensed their own deal,
Yeah.
or they like
'Cause
white labeled
if I
some.
turn off Wi-Fi, I don't have
Yeah.
a SIM card in here now. If I turn off Wi-Fi, the satellite thing comes up. I've used the iMessage over satellite before.
Yeah.
Don't
I think
be
it's
in a
the
hurry.
case that I think it's the case that Apple probably got someone to white label something so that they could do that. Valiant has a question here about AI being paid. We actually covered this.
I think I even randomly messaged Jeff about that one night.
We actually covered this the other day. There's some new information about this. Let me see if I can share my screen here. There we go. We wrote this up. Samit wrote this up the other day. There's a rumor that the Galaxy Eye features will remain free except for Gemini Advanced. So everything will remain free, like Note Assist, Transcript Assist, image, all those things that you've got that are actually Galaxy Eye. The only thing that will get paid will be your Gemini Advanced, which makes sense because that's a Google feature. So this would be really good. This would be really good news for Galaxy fans. This is obviously a rumor, but a guy on X who has pretty good track record in the past with software, Samsung software stuff, mentioned this. So there's a good chance that we might see a lot of Galaxy Eye stuff be free. But obviously Samsung hasn't confirmed this. I certainly think you're going to have to pay for Gemini Advanced, obviously, after 6 months. Google's not going to give you Gemini Advanced plus 2 terabytes of storage for free. There's no way that's going to, that's not going to happen.
Are they giving that to you for 6 months when you, is that actually, because I already had it
I
from my
actually don't
Pixel,
know
so I don't
because
know.
I already had the AI Advanced plan. Remember I told you I bought a Chromebook so I could get 2 years of that for free.
Yeah.
Because it was worth
And I
more
got
than
it
the
with
Chromebook.
Pixel, so I had
So
it with
now
the
I
Pixel, so
have
I already
a
had it too.
very nice Acer Chromebook that I don't use that much, but I got a
I didn't
2 terabyte.
see, we talked about that before though. I didn't see anything in the order thing, but I think somebody said they mentioned it during Unpack that it was free for 6 months.
Yeah, free for 6 months, but I don't know if you get the 2 terabytes of drive storage though.
Yeah, nothing came
I'm
up
not
on the
sure
phone
about
when I
that.
did it, so.
It would be interesting if you got the 2 terabytes of drive storage, but I'm not sure if you get that.
I think that's the only way to, unless Samsung worked a deal with Google, but I think that's the only way you get Gemini Advanced. I think it's all bundled into that one plan now.
Yeah. Well, let's do a little bit of S25 Ultra like mini review here because I said I would write up an article about it on SammyGuru, and I'm working on it. It's just writing an article, is kind of hard. It's like you got to actually write stuff, and then I also make videos and I edit everybody else's articles at SammyGuru. It's hard to write stuff when you're doing a million other things and making videos and stuff. But let's talk about various things. So first of all, performance in terms of the processor and the software. This thing is a huge upgrade from the S24 Ultra in terms of the overall performance and how One UI 7 behaves, in my opinion. It's pretty obvious that Samsung optimized One UI 7 for the S25 series. What do you think, Colin? Do you agree?
Yeah, I think it was definitely designed for what we didn't know at the time was coming, but with the rounded UI.
Yeah,
and
like all the buttons, they just look better. The animations feel more fluid. The multitasking is much smoother. And all, the whole package with the software. One UI 7 feels like it was made for this hardware.
Yeah, everything fits together nicely.
And the Snapdragon 8 Elite is a beast. I mean, this one that they made for the S25 series in particular is actually a lot more powerful than the regular Snapdragon 8 Elite. A lot of people have benchmarked it. I did Geekbench 6. I did a bunch of tests. It's more powerful than the regular Snapdragon 8 Elite, the one that they optimized for the S25. The performance and the software experience gets a huge thumbs up for me. I think if you come from an S24 Ultra, you will not be like, oh, it's exactly the same. It's not. I mean, of course, I have to be fair. The S24 Ultra that I have is still on the beta, right? So you really can't compare beta to stable. So we'll have to see when the stable version comes to the S24 Ultra. But in terms of this phone, the performance and the software fluidity of One UI 7 is fantastic. That's my personal opinion. The camera, which is of course always a polarizing thing. I've taken a lot of pictures. I'm not blown away by the improvements for the main camera because there is no new hardware. It's all just new software processing. Um, you've got a new image signal processor in the S25 Ultra. And yeah, I mean, the photos look a little better, but I would even say they don't look a little, in my opinion, they don't look a lot better. They look different. Like the way they did the color, the way that the saturation of the colors in some of the photos with the primary sensor, they just did things a little differently with the computational photography. I don't know that the photos are actually a whole lot better in most lighting scenarios, right? So like, I don't want to tell people this is a massive camera upgrade on the primary sensor because there's no new hardware, right? So no new hardware, and the computational photography improvements are not really that big so far, even though the Snapdragon 8 Elite has a very big improvement in the ISP on paper. But whatever Samsung did in software just doesn't really pop to me in terms of being a massive difference. I don't know. Have you taken any photos yet, Colin? I know you haven't, Tori, because you're just unboxing.
I messed with the 100 times zoom. Somebody asked me about that when I was streaming yesterday. And if you zoom in, I mean, I didn't have something in here that I could totally zoom in on, but I looked at some tests too, and it's still blurry. Like there's not much improvement over what we've been able to do before.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the only zoom that's really improved, the 3 and the 5x zoom look better to me. So I don't know what they did there. A lot of people complained about that last year, especially the 5x. They improved that a little bit. The 10x still doesn't look that much better to me. It doesn't look as good as the S23 Ultra, because the S23 Ultra had optical 10x zoom, and the last 2 years we've had optical quality 10x zoom, which is just digital zoom, and they did computational photography. Yeah, it's not really optical quality, right? So, I mean, it's a very marginal improvement. Yeah, Velian's absolutely right. Very marginal improvements. The ultra wide is better, but who uses the ultra wide that much? I don't use the ultra wide camera that often. I would rather they improve the primary sensor and the zoom, because that's what everyone uses. I don't use the ultra wide too much, to be honest with you. So I don't know. It's not a huge improvement on the camera. The optical zoom on the 10x for the S23 Ultra was still better. The 5x has gotten better year over year, but it's still not where I'd like it to be. So I'm going to say tentatively, I mean, this is not a full review. I still want to take a lot more photos, but I haven't been wowed by the camera. So if you're upgrading because you want a better camera phone, this is not the upgrade for you. That's just me being honest. The total package doesn't mean it's not an upgrade, but it's basically the same camera, unless you use the ultra wide a bunch of times. Yeah, I would love to see a brand new sensor next year in the main camera. We need a new sensor. It's been too many years with the same camera hardware. And I know they're trying to cut some costs, but I mean, damn, man, like it's a little too much. Like we need a new camera sensor.
They could have bought a new camera sensor with the S Pen money.
Yeah, that's right. Use all that money they saved on that Bluetooth by making it a gram lighter. Put that into a new camera sensor. They had to save at least $1 billion collectively. Just channel that into some new camera tech, because you can only do so much with software. Even if the computational photography is good, you can't do everything you could do if you get new hardware in there. So that's camera. Battery life has been great. I haven't had a problem with battery life so far. I've been pleasantly surprised. I kind of expected with the new Snapdragon 8 Elite, it's more efficient. I expected better battery life. It's been really good. Probably like an extra 2 hours screen on time over my S24 Ultra. I always don't like to do battery tests though, because if you're comparing your new phone to your old phone, of course the new phone is going to be better because the battery doesn't have as many cycles on it, right? Like, obviously it's better. That's
I
no
did
question.
see somebody, I forget who did it, but somebody on YouTube did do a test where
You're welcome, Brett. Thanks for joining, man. Thanks for joining.
In the previous year, he had tested the phone and did a video on it, and then when the S25 came out, he did the exact same test and did the exact same video, so he could kind of compare the two, both from new phones. And I think he said about an hour and a half to 2 hours is what he was seeing.
That's what
it kind of feels a little
honestly
off. It feels
Yeah,
a
I
little
mean,
off for me
it,
because I was using the OnePlus before that, so it was like 50% after like 6 hours. So
yeah. I mean, honestly, the thing is, for one thing, OnePlus has the new battery tech, which the
yeah,
S26 Ultra is going to get next year. So that's a big thing. But also, One UI just drains more battery than some other Android skin because it does a lot of
hmm
stuff, right? I mean, One UI has a lot of customization, particularly if you use a lot of those features, it's going to drain more battery. And that's not a big deal to me. But I definitely noticed a big improvement in the battery. I think that's all attributed to the processor. Just like I told you guys on launch day, the new processor was going to be a big deal. I think the processor is a big deal. So pretty happy with the battery life overall. It charges as fast as last year. It's no faster.
yeah.
But I mean, if you're
45
okay
watts is
with
45
45 watts,
watts.
I would still like 65-watt charging. It may
100.
be a few minutes faster. I do want to test it because this year, I believe the 45 watts is 15 volt 3 amps instead of 9 volts 5 amps. I don't remember though. I have to look and see. I remember there was a rumor about that. I wanted to test it. I just haven't had time. I know the iPhone 16 Pro moved to 15 and 3, and it charged slightly faster than the iPhone 15 Pro. Yeah, so Brett's saying it charges faster. It could be because they moved to 15 and 3 instead of 9 and 5. And so if you don't know much about electricity and magnetism and circuits, Tori does, because he's been taking a physics class
Yes, I have.
lately. Basically, 15 and 3 is going to be a little more efficient because it's going to create a little bit less heat. And so you'll get a little more efficient charge transfer. And so it should charge slightly faster. And so that might be the case. Yes, you can also set protect battery, which I don't do because I don't want to wake up with my battery at 80%. There's an adaptive option, which I tried when I first installed One UI 7. And then I woke up one day and my battery was at 80%. And I was like, what the hell is going on? I was like, I can't have my
What's that
battery
other
at
option?
80%. There's a
There's one more.
maximum and then there's a basic. Basic is okay, I guess.
There's one that charges it and then it stops charging, waits for it to drain some, and then
Yeah, it
charges
charges,
again.
it waits, it charges down to, it goes down to 95 and then it goes back up.
Yeah, I feel like that would be worse for the battery than like,
Yeah, I don't
because over
know.
time
I don't know the numbers on how
that's
good
just
that would
cycling
be
it.
versus, now that I have like, I'm gonna have like 10 of these. I should just do one every night. I should charge one with each option and see which one has the best battery health in a year. But I'll forget to charge. I'll forget to charge one of those one night. It's kind of hard to remember to charge all these
mess up the
phones.
test. I mean,
Yeah.
here's the way I look at it. Everybody in this that is streaming right now, and most people
Good night,
watching
Melian.
it probably upgrade
217
every year or
man. Have a
two.
good night.
Yep.
Get some rest.
Yeah, get some rest.
Most enthusiasts upgrade every year or two, right? So even if you slam the battery, use the phone. Just use the phone that you paid for. Like it's not worth.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn this setting
for
down,
most
turn that
people,
setting down.
For most people, I would say most people in the like 18 to 45-year-old demographic at least upgrade every 3 years, and your battery life is probably still okay on a modern smartphone.
And how much
Especially
is the
after
battery
2
now?
years, it's going to be fine.
What's the battery cost now to get it replaced? Less than $100?
Yeah, it's not that expensive through
Yeah.
Samsung. If you have Samsung Care, it's very cheap. You've seen a battery test? Yes, I've seen a few too, and I've kind of been doing my own informal battery test. I'll do a real one at some point and post it here on YouTube or on SammyGuru. I'll write an article. But I've been keeping track. It's about an hour to 2 hours for sure.
Yeah, that's what I've been
Screen on
seeing.
time. Even with Android Auto wireless, which slams the battery, I've also noticed that the S25 Ultra, when I run it with my wireless Android Auto, it doesn't get as hot as the S24 Ultra, because the S24 Ultra would get really hot with wireless Android Auto. So that could also be to do with the processor. The Snapdragon 8 Elite is great, honestly. I told you guys on launch day, like that's a good reason to upgrade. It's a pretty big year-over-year upgrade for the processor. Sometimes the processor is just like a joke, it's like not a real upgrade, but not this year.
The earlier Snapdragons, like 5 or so years ago, used to get really bad on Android Auto, like to the point where it would cut the phone off. Not just on Samsung, like in general.
Yeah, wireless Android Auto, when it first came out, you could not use it because it would overheat your phone. It would stop working. Luckily, that's gotten better. But on this one, like I picked it up the other day when I was driving, which I shouldn't be doing because it's bad. But and it's soft. It is really cool to the touch. I mean, so I mean that's good. then don't text and drive,
I just
or
hate the winter
check your
when
parlay
you got
on
your.
FanDuel like I was while driving. It's not a good idea. You shouldn't do that, but
I hate winter when you have the heat on because your mount's right next to the vent and it just overheats your phone the whole time.
yeah, the phone not getting hot is a nice change. It definitely doesn't get as hot as the S22 Ultra. Not even as hot as my S24 Ultra. The S22 Ultra did run pretty hot sometimes, for sure. Sometimes you could use that as like a burner on your stove as an extra burner.
Yeah.
Just put it back there, boil up some rice while you're making your main entree on the stove.
Yeah, and then
Boom.
just like flip your steak over.
All you got to do is play a game on it,
Yes,
just play some Genshin Impact on there, and then just boil up your rice on the back of it. Let's see what else we have to say in terms of the review. Speakers are great on this thing. That's another massive upgrade that I didn't expect. The speakers are vastly superior to the S24 Ultra as well. If you care about speaker quality, not everyone does, because some people are just like, oh, I use headphones. Well, that's fine if you don't care. But if you do care about speaker quality, the speakers are a lot better. I even compared it to the iPhone 16 Pro Max, which I think has probably the best speaker setup for a phone. I think a lot of people agree, even though, I'm not #1 iPhone fan. The S25 Ultra does hold its own now against the iPhone 16 Pro Max on the speakers. It's quite a nice improvement for if you watch media or if you play games or whatever. It's enjoyable. I listened to a podcast on them today. I listened to some music on them, and overall it's pretty good. I'm going to do a speaker test video. I don't usually do that, but I figured it'd be fun to do the S24 Ultra, S25 Ultra, the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and the Pixel 9 Pro, just to kind of show you guys. I don't even know why I'm putting the Pixel in there because the speakers aren't even close to as good on the Pixel, but I'll put them in there and just,
One thing that to go back on Samsung Care. Anybody else signing up for it?
I did get it on this one on my green/silver personal phone.
Did you do the loss and theft with the free screen replacement, or did you do the regular one?
I did the one with the free screen replacement.
I just did the regular one because I figured, well, the screen replacement was $29, so I figured, knock on wood, I've had every smartphone basically since the iPhone 4S, and I've never had a screen replacement.
Yeah, it's true. I haven't ever replaced the screen.
So I figured if I have to replace the screen, if you have loss and theft, that's $2 extra, so that's $24. Screen replacement's $29.
Sounds like we got to save a few dollars here. We can't be wasting.
I'd just rather gamble my $4 there because.
Sounds like we got to get that money. It's like we can't be giving away too much money to Samsung. I highly prefer. Larry said he did lost and theft, not going to use screen protector. I don't use screen protectors ever. I just take a risk. I only ever dropped one phone in the years I've been doing YouTube. I've had hundreds and hundreds of them, probably even over 1,000. I dropped the iPhone 6S. Luckily, I didn't crack the screen. I dropped it on the corner, but it was still pretty durable, and it just dented the aluminum a little. It made me very upset.
T-Mobile 360 is expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very expensive compared to Samsung Care. I would highly recommend Samsung Care Plus. It's probably a heck of a lot cheaper, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys saw, though, on X, if you follow me on X, I did drop my Galaxy Book Pro 360 out of a case onto the asphalt, and it did not look good afterwards. I didn't crack the screen, but the back of it, the aluminum is all jagged. So my Windows laptop is not looking great. I have Samsung Care on that, so I'm going to call them up and say, hey, guys, I need a replacement. This thing is busted. And they're going to say, it still works. I'm going to say, it doesn't. I can't bear looking at this.
It cut my hand.
The back. It caused me emotional damage. I cut myself. I'm injured. Yeah, Larry saw it. Yeah, it was painful. I don't like looking at the back of it now. It still works perfectly. Like the laptop functions perfectly. The screen isn't hurt. It didn't hurt anything. The keyboard works. Everything works. But yeah, now
I've never had to use Care Plus. So I don't know how.
$18 a month.
Whoa.
What do you do get a little bit more for that, I think, but
what do they give you for $18 a month? They better give you a new phone at the end of the year. I mean, that's expensive.
I think you get
they should give you a free upgrade to the next phone or something. Right?
I think
they should give you some free screen protectors, some free cases or something.
They do.
I don't know.
No, they give you at least they used to. When I had T-Mobile, they used to give you screen protectors. You could go into the store and get a screen protector replaced just anytime.
Because that's $216 a month. That's like 20% the cost of the phone, even if you bought it without a trade. That's a lot of money.
You're basically paying for a whole nother phone and not getting anything unless you break it.
And by the way, one other thing I wanted to talk about too, the Galaxy Club, we did confirm, and I'm going to write an article on SammyGuru. That is not a good deal. Do not do it. Because
Do you guys
basically, you're paying extra money just to be guaranteed to get less trade-in than you already do every year. We talked about this on launch day. The Galaxy Club thing is not a good deal. Do not do the Galaxy Club thing. Because it says
it's like
you're
the
going to
same price but less trade-in.
Yeah, you're guaranteed to get 650. Well, why would I want 650? You give me 900 if I don't have it.
Unless I guess we'll have to wait till next year unless we're missing something. Maybe it's 650 on top of.
So I asked the people at Samsung for a statement on this. If they respond, I'll update it. But they just basically says what it is, and I was like, well, what it says is it's not a good deal though. So do you want me to tell people not to get it because it doesn't look good? Like it doesn't look good. I'm not going to tell people to get it because it doesn't look good.
It's meant for early upgrade. So if you early upgrade, you're going to get more than that.
But I could just trade this phone in next year for $900.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like I was going to say, if you keep your phone for like 5 years and they'll give you 650, that's one thing. But by then you've already paid that phone off. So it's still, that doesn't make sense.
If they give me 650 after 5 years, then it would be a good deal. But if you're already early upgrading, it's still not a good deal because you'll get 900 next year.
Giving you
and
more,
you won't pay $96 for the Galaxy Club.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I want to be in the Galaxy Club just as much as anyone else, but not that bad. Not for $96 to get nothing in return.
They need to pay you $8 to be in there.
Do you guys put a screen protector, I assume he means, on the S25?
Yeah.
Colin did. He can tell you which one he put. What did you put on yours?
I've just got the Samsung one on there right now.
Oh, he's got the stock ones.
I have the glass ones, but I got these with my pre-order, so.
I ordered a ton of those with all the things I pre-ordered so I could put those in the mystery boxes. I always get like 20 of them because I order so many phones and they're cheap, like $20 a piece. So people have some screen protectors.
What is Flow Lab? I've never heard of those.
Putting a Flow Lab screen shield. I don't know what that is either.
I've never heard of it. I've never had an issue with any screen protector I've ever
Andy,
used.
what is that?
It's Samsung.
13 a month for the Fold 5
eBay
Samsung Care. Yes, that's even cheap. That's cheaper than T-Mobile 360. And the Fold 5 is a foldable, and it's not even a slab phone. And you're paying less than T-Mobile 360. So, Larry said he thinks Galaxy Club's a Rent-A-Center deal. I mean, it's definitely as bad of a deal as Rent-A-Center, which is not a good deal.
Not a good deal.
Yeah, but it's not even. It's the same price as financing your.
Here, you can rent this 85-inch TV for every month. It's only $30 a month. And then at the end of 5 years, you could buy it for $7,000. It will only cost you $40,000 to own this TV.
Oh, here we go.
What a great deal.
Bad deal. Don't do that.
I mean, at that point, I just go without TV. You know what I mean? Like, no TV for me. When I was on Sprint, they had Galaxy for Life. I think that was a good deal, though, if I remember. Some of those are not bad deals. Like the AT&T deal is not a bad deal. You could trade in any phone and get $1,000 credit towards the Galaxy S25 Ultra. And if you're going to stay with AT&T, it's not a bad deal. You do have to stay
every year. They have good deals.
They do.
Yeah, for
AT&T and T-Mobile, but you do have to be sure you're going to stay with the AT&T because you have to sign 36-month basically finance agreement.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to stick with a particular carrier, and of course AT&T is a little more expensive than other carriers, so you're kind of paying for the $1,000 trade-in credit that they're going to give you for any phone. But you can literally buy a phone on eBay for like $50 and trade it in and get $1,000 from AT&T. I've done it before because I have an AT&T line. I just wanted to see if it would work. I bought like a Galaxy S3 on eBay like a couple years ago, and I traded in, and they gave me like an S23 Ultra, and they gave me $1,000 in credits. It does work.
You should have gotten like some Nokia, like just beater, like the worst plastic beat up phone you could find.
Maybe if I do it again, I'll buy one for like $2 to $5 and see if they'll take it.
Go to Walmart and get a track phone.
Here's the Nokia phone that I played Snake on when I was in middle school. Will you guys take this? I still have it in a drawer somewhere.
They do say any phone, any condition, right?
Yeah, I have my Motorola Razr from 2003. Can I get $1,000 for this? It's a nice phone, but it's a classic. I don't want to give him my Motorola Razr. It's a classic. It's a collector item. Horrible luck with screen protectors, cracking in the S shape without dropping or hitting it. Yeah, the other thing I don't like about screen protectors is the touch sensitivity issues, which he mentions. You can turn on touch sensitivity to help with your issues if you have a fingerprint. I talked about this in my my change these settings video. I talk about it in there. if you use a screen protector, you should turn on the increased sensitivity because it will help you. I don't use screen protector, so I leave it off, but it is worth turning on if you use a screen protector for sure. There's no doubt. Xavier traded his Z Fold 5 for his S25 Ultra. I think that's an upgrade in my opinion, just because the camera is better. Someone earlier asked me about the zoom on the Z Fold Special Edition. The zoom is okay, but it still only goes to 3x, right? So if you need zoom, even the Z Fold SE is not going to be as good as the S line, Ultra phone. So just keep that in mind, right? Like it's still not the same level in terms of zoom. So go ahead, Colin.
I was just gonna say, people were asking about the screen protectors and the gel, like being gel. The glass ones work just fine. I've never had an issue, but I didn't do anything extra after putting this on, and it works. If I find the sensor, it works just fine. And that's the Samsung one, but any glass ones I've had also work just fine.
Nice.
I actually had a
That
question,
completes the
Jeff.
demonstration.
Go ahead.
I've been seeing this on the, because I'm not like, I don't keep up with Samsung news like all the time or just tech in general. But they're like, are we gotten to a point where do we really need to have a new phone every single year? Does Apple and Samsung need to be whipping out a new phone?
Well, I
every single
mean,
year?
that's a question people have brought up many times. The answer is certainly no, we don't. But given how much profit they make off of doing it, I don't see them stopping ever.
Somebody asked me that, and a good point that we came up with is, though, even though they come out with a phone every year, there's tons of people that have phones that are 5, 6, 7, 8 years old that are upgrading.
Yeah.
So it's not like even if they don't, even if they come out with one every year, that doesn't mean buy one every year. That's, there's still people out there that it's a 2-year upgrade
I
or a
think
3-year
the real
upgrade
question
for them.
is,
So it's,
do people need to upgrade every year? And the answer to that is definitely no. Do we need to upgrade every year? Well, I guess not. But I mean, I have to do my job, right? This is my job now. So I do this for a living. So if I don't have the phone, I can't talk about it and I can't review it and I can't
make tutorials. And even when you make tutorials and make videos on new phones too, like we're not making videos saying, hey, if you have last year's phone, buy this one. Our videos are also intended for people that are coming from 5-year-old phones.
I mean, if you look at my video I made about the S25 Ultra, the setup video, like the change settings and first things to do, about 80% of that stuff applies to the older phones too.
Yeah.
Every year, I'm only updating like 20% of it that applies to the new features. Like I talked about the now bar, the now brief. I talked about, the audio eraser. I talked about some of the new stuff, but a lot of the settings that I talked about enabling or changing, the S24 Ultra video still has all that stuff in it too. So, it's still relevant.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so you don't need to upgrade every year. I don't tell people to upgrade every year. I'm just saying if you want to upgrade every year, you can come here, get yourself a free mystery box. And speaking of which, since we probably got about, 10, 15 minutes left, probably go to like 5:45, 5:50. But I just want to mention, for those of you who did get the mystery boxes, those of you who came in late, we are shipping the first wave on Monday, the 3rd. So if you were in the first wave, I sent out emails to the first 1,000 people like 4 days ago. It could be in your spam, so you should check it. I will send out another like 500 emails this weekend. That'll be for wave 2. Those will ship on February 10th. So 1,000 boxes are going to UPS on Monday. And then 500 more at least will be out probably by the 7th or so. We'll have another 500.
You're using UPS this year?
Probably, because they're slightly cheaper now than USPS. We'll have to see. I'll look at Pirate Ship and see. USPS lowered their rates, so maybe it might be slightly cheaper. For the full launch,
if you use
UPS. So.
If you use SurePost now, SurePost isn't UPS to the Postal Service anymore. They call it between, I think, 2 and 7 days with UPS, but it's delivered by UPS now for that cheaper rate.
Oh, okay. That might actually been what I used for the Fold launch. It's possible, but I know USPS.
As of a couple weeks ago. Before that, it was that thing where they shipped it to USPS and the Postal Service delivered it.
Well, then maybe that will be a way to go then. I haven't looked at what the cheapest thing is in pirate ship. I usually compare them when we go to ship just to see, like, because
Yeah.
the rates change all the time for sure.
Yeah.
Larry said, what's your thoughts on the seamless updates? Goes to a separate partition running in the background. How will you know if you got one? Well, I think the way you'll know if you got a seamless update is it takes longer to install than the regular older updates.
But you can use your phone while you do it.
Yeah, you can use your phone while you do it, but it takes a lot longer to install. Like if you have a Pixel, I have a Pixel 9 Pro, the updates take a lot longer to install, but you can still use your phone.
Yeah.
That's the positive thing. And then once the update's ready, it only takes like a second to reboot it.
So,
it's a lot faster when you reboot it.
So Larry, the updates will look the same. Like you'll go to settings and check for the update and it'll download and say it's installing. But instead of like restarting and installing while it's, like mid reboot, it installs and then just does a restart and it restarts and it's updated.
There you go. Yeah.
Setting feature where like
this is a brand new thing. Basically, when you do an update on your phone, it's going to change the way it does it. It basically installs it. It uses another partition. The actual new method uses a virtual partition and not the actual one on the device to make it faster. Samsung has the new method, which is called AB seamless updates.
Yeah.
We wrote it up on SammyGuru. But anyway, it basically makes it so that it's more reliable. It's slower to do the update, but you can use your phone while it's doing the update. And then when the update's ready, you can reboot your phone and it'll be installed. You won't see that big screen where it says installing and the percentage bar anymore. It'll just automatically reboot and boom, you're back into your phone. So
it basically takes as long as regular reboot.
Yeah. Even though it takes longer to install, your phone is usable for a longer period of time during the update. That's the thing you should know about it.
And this isn't really a new thing. Samsung's like really late to this.
Yeah, this has been happening on Pixel devices for like 5 years now. So, or 4 or 5 years. It's been a while. I don't even remember when it was first introduced, but it's been a while. That's for sure.
Oh, I'm excited about that because I feel like my updates always happen at like the worst time.
Sometimes, yeah.
I'm
like, oh no, it's updating.
Yeah, and I'm like, dang it, I don't know how to get to where I'm trying to get to.
You're like, no directions anymore for me now.
Update's done. You missed your turn 5 miles back.
I know. I'm like, oh man.
I also wanted to mention too, because some people were here in the original stream we did on launch day. Next week, finally, I'm pretty upset with the suppliers, but we finally have the Inspira Casas S25 cases coming in. So if you signed up, we'll be sending people a message about these being ready. So if you got on the list, those will be available next week. We'll have them loaded in the store. There'll be some new designs. And those of you who are in the mystery box, everybody in the mystery box, not randomly inserted, is getting a 20% off code to use in Inspira Casas on S25 cases if you want to get one. There will be a bunch of free cases inserted randomly too, and a few other goodies for Inspira Casas. Everybody who is in the mystery box is also going to get free access to the wallpaper pack. So if you're in the mystery box program, you'll get the wallpaper pack for free. You probably already got it if you did the reservation process with us, because I sent it to everybody. But if you didn't do a reservation with us, you'll get it in your mystery box. There'll be a way to redeem it. So lots of good stuff coming there from the Inspira Casas stuff as well. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I wanted to talk about in terms of S25 news here. Let's see. We covered a few things today. The Samsung Messages RCS stuff. Google Meet not working on your S25 Ultra. You can do an uninstall and a reinstall if you want to fix it. It seems to work fine for me. And then also the Galaxy S25 Edge. I want to talk about it for a second. Sumit wrote up a full guide on everything about it. So if you are waiting for the S25 Edge, go check out our article. It's really long, 3,000 words. It's got everything to know about the S25 Edge in it. This phone should be coming in May. So if you're waiting on the S25 Edge, we will also have a little bit of a mystery box program for that. I don't know how many people are going to buy it, so I don't know how many to make, but we will do it. It's going to be coming in May. It only has 2 cameras, though. So the original rumors, remember, Corey, the rumors said that it was going to have like better cameras than the Ultra and all this stuff.
Yeah, I remember that.
That is not the case. So
No.
its camera setup is not going to be better than the Ultra, but
I'm just
it is gonna
curious.
be a lot
What
thinner.
is
Yeah.
what's the purpose of them coming out with this new phone,
I have
but
no idea,
having
man.
it's not an upgrade, but they make you wait for it? That just doesn't seem like a good business
I
model.
have no idea.
Like
Someone wrote an
nobody who
article,
upgraded.
another blog wrote an article about how the S25 Edge might make Samsung great again. I don't know what that means, but I don't think it's going to make Samsung great again because
I feel like it's going to be like they do with the Fold SE. Like the Fold 6 comes out, and then they have all these Fold SE specs. Like, oh, that's great, but I just got a Fold 6 because they didn't announce that till after.
But the S25 Edge doesn't even look like an upgrade over the S25 Ultra. So
yeah, this
when
is
the
even worse than
S25
that.
Edge
It's not even
comes
an
out, I'm
upgrade.
just going to be laughing at everyone who waited for the S20. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I'm just going to be like, why did you wait for it? It's not as good as this phone. You could have bought it 4 months ago.
Yeah, it's not even curved. So
yeah, it doesn't even have a curved edge like the original Edge. Edge just means thin now, and it doesn't even look that much thinner than the S25 base model. It really isn't.
Razor was already taken, so
I just don't even know like what the purpose is. I have no idea, honestly. I will obviously get one because we're a Samsung site and I review Samsung phones, but I can tell you already, just from looking at it, I don't see any chance that I switch to that as my daily driver over this. Like, there's almost zero chance that I switch to the Edge as my main Samsung phone.
it's like
I'll
the
review it, but it's
S25
not gonna be
SE.
my main device. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just as like an average consumer, I do not see a reason to need to buy this phone. I feel like this will still be like the way to go. But I know a lot of people do want to upgrade, as I'm seeing in the chats from my S22. So my S22 people, if you get a chance, upgrade.
Yeah. S25 Edge is, thin as N sometimes, but I don't know if thin as N with the phones here because, hey, if they made the S25 Edge thinner and it still had the same battery and it still had the S Pen and they put the Bluetooth back in the S Pen and they upgraded the main camera sensor, then maybe I'd be like, oh, well, maybe I should upgrade to that over my Ultra and I'll just wait till May. But they didn't do any of that. It's just thinner. It has less cameras.
I feel like from here on out, it doesn't
battery.
matter what it is, but Jeff will buy it if it comes with a Bluetooth S Pen. If Samsung releases a potato with a Bluetooth S Pen, you'll buy it.
I will. If they make a Galaxy Ring that has a Bluetooth S Pen, I'll buy it. I don't even know what I'll do with it. But if they make a Galaxy Ring that has a Bluetooth S Pen, I'm purchasing it. You know what I mean?
No,
how do you take pictures with it? I've never really paid attention to the ring. So how do you is it just like tapping?
Yeah, the ring. Well, they don't even have NFC in the ring yet. Oh, you mean how would you use it on the ring?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not the S Pen. Separate question. But you can do like the camera with the ring.
That's
You can
pinch
control the camera,
gestures like
tap
this.
it. Oh,
like this, you pinch. Tori asked a good question. He said, "Are there any rumors for the price?" Well, let's look at Sumit's article.
Okay.
Let's scroll down. He has some information about it. The S25 Edge was rumored to cost over $1,000. This was based off the fact that it was going to be upgraded. The cameras were going to be upgraded from the S25 Ultra. However, recent developments suggest the price will be lower. Expect more details soon. So basically, the original info is it was going to cost more than the S25 Plus, but current info based on these new specs suggests it will probably be around the same price as the S25 Plus or slightly less. So that's my thought. I would think somewhere between $899 and $999 for the Edge.
Yeah, because like
it looks like an iPhone SE.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Not like physically, but like it's like.
And
like
the cameras are really protruding a lot
upgrade.
on the back. Like,
yeah, it is.
What is up with the cameras protruding on the back? It's gonna like rock back and forth on any table if you're tapping on the keyboard.
Is that the S25 Edge in your pocket or?
Lakar says, "Is the SE boot zoom better than the Z Fold 5? Are there rumors the SE zoom will be the same on the Z Fold 7? The SE zoom is better at 3x, but it still doesn't have 5 or 10 times zoom. It only has 3x, so it is better than the Fold 5 and the Fold 6. The quality is better, yes, but you still don't get 5x and 10x. I've heard no rumors of the Z Fold 7 getting 5x zoom. I guess it could happen because really it's not optical. Well, I guess the 10x is not optical, so it could get 3, 5, and 10. but I haven't heard any rumors of that happening yet. The 10X is still going to be optical quality, not optical, even if they bring it to the Fold. But yes, the SE has better zoom for sure. The quality of the 3X zoom is better, and it's still not as good as the Ultra, the S line for sure. Even though Samsung really needs to upgrade that situation too. So I don't know.
I need to
What
go
other
somewhere where I
questions
can
do you
actually
have? I
zoom
think
on something.
we have probably time for maybe like one or two more questions if people want to ask one or two more. We've done an hour and a half. That's usually how long we do the podcast. I still want to make it manageable so we can upload it to audio. I don't want to make a 5-hour podcast. Plus, my wife would kill me if I get home at 9 o'clock at night. Got kids to put to bed here. But any other questions you have about S25 stuff? I'm happy to answer a couple more. I think we've covered most of the things about, like review stuff of initial thoughts. I mean, I'm really impressed with the S25 Ultra. The camera quality is not impressive, but everything else is. The Snapdragon 8 Elite, the multitasking performance, the gaming performance, the battery life is impressive. The speakers are much improved. The fluidity of One UI 7 feels like it's made for the device. The Bluetooth S Pen being gone absolutely sucks. I hate that. That's a huge downer. But I mean, everything else about it is an upgrade, except the camera, which is about the same in my opinion. And then the Bluetooth S Pen, which obviously, if that's a deal breaker for you, I understand. But everything else is pretty much an upgrade.
Everybody was asking about the camera rings falling off.
Larry said, was the S25 Ultra confirmed that S25 Ultra is made of grade 5 titanium? Samsung did not say the grade of titanium in the press release because I have it. Their PR people sent it to me. I will ask them for you, Larry. See if they answer me. I asked them about Samsung messages and RCS already, so they've already got a long list of stuff to check for me, but I can ask them about that too. I think they just said titanium. I don't think they ever said the grade. But it's a good question. I'm happy to ask them. I'll just keep firing questions at them anytime I can. Lakar says, shout out to Jonathan. We appreciate that. Jonathan's at home. He's waiting for me to get home. He's like, where's my father? He's like, got to get in that traffic as always. That's a good question, though, Larry. I'm interested in that too, because we could add that to the review. Is it grade 5 titanium? There were rumors about that. Yeah, the screen temperature. The screen temperature is more like the S23 Ultra. I would agree. It's a little bit closer to the temperature. I think that's what Cap78's talking about. Does this camera rattle when you shake the phone? Well, that's because of the optical image stabilizing sensor. It always rattles a little. It doesn't rattle as much as other smartphones, though. Every phone has that little bit of rattle when you shake the thing because of the optical image stabilizer trying to work against you shaking it. That's why it rattles. It's not a defect or anything like that, but it does rattle a little. We will do the podcast live then every week. I guess, Colin, are you down to join us from now on?
Yep.
We just got a brand new member. We got a third member of the podcast team. Me, Tori, and Colin here every week. Live stream. I'll upload this to the audio stream too, so you can listen to the replay. And if we start getting a lot of people listening, we'll try some different times and see what times work best. If we get a lot of people listening, we'll do it, once a week for 2 hours and make sure that everyone can have a good time. I'll try to organize it more next week. Yeah.
If we're gonna do take live questions, we should schedule out categories and topics. That way.
Well, I'm gonna schedule it out better next week. Yeah. So we do it like the podcast where I have show notes, and it'll be a little more rigid, so we don't just have very weird crazy going on and stuff like that. We'll try to have it more structured. I'm gonna get an Elgato Stream Deck too, I think, and try it out next week, so I can have some stuff programmed to it. I'll just try it. Do you have one? You do have it?
The only thing you can't use it with StreamYard.
You can't?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't have.
Well, then I won't use it.
I have all my
I'll have to research that, but if I can't use it with StreamYard, then I don't want to do that because I just paid.
Actually, so if you hover over your screen thing where you change the views, you see how you can do Shift+3 changes to that layout, Shift+4 changes to the next one. You could technically do a macro on the Stream Deck for Shift+3, Shift+4.
Well, I'll research it. I'll see if they have any support. If not, then I won't waste my money to buy it. I just thought it.
Let me hold on. I can open up the thing real quick and see.
Because I thought that they supported the Stream Deck Plus. Hugo said he's going to check out the audio version. Appreciate that.
Yeah, do
It'll
it.
be over on Buzzsprout. We'll have it posted on X and everywhere else on the website too, as usual.
Yeah,
Well,
there's no
I don't know what
StreamYard
was wrong
plugin.
with the affiliate link. Howell is the one who does Samsung's affiliate link. If it wasn't working, send me an email to remind me of what error you got. I'll try to send it to Howell. I mean, they're the ones who do all the affiliate link stuff for Samsung. The only thing I can do is tell them that there's an issue because they do all the back end stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you say, Colin?
Oh, there's no plugin for StreamYard. I was just went to the store.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see what happens here.
We can make something work.
Well, yeah, shoot me an email. I mean, we'll
We'll make
make sure you get
mystery
your mystery box and stuff set it up. It doesn't work?
What?
The Stream Deck doesn't work with StreamYard? Is that what you said?
Oh yeah, no, there's no plugin. No plugin.
Okay. Well, then there'll be no reason to get it because, I mean, I like StreamYard and I just paid for it again. So
Yeah.
I'm not getting rid of it yet.
Yeah.
I'm not getting rid of it yet because we paid for it. So we're going to keep streaming for it for a little bit on StreamYard. Anyway, yes, we'll see you guys then next week. I'll have the audio up version soon. And until then, keep expanding your galaxy.
Yeah.
All right. You got to end with the